Hello everybody and welcome to Worth It or Not, a series where I check out the current games leaving Xbox Game Pass and dish out to you whether any of those games are worth your time. It has been about 3 weeks since the last games leaving were announced and already we received a new batch of games we're gonna lose. Lately I've been feeling like Xbox is cycling out these games faster than before, but hey, it's given me something to play in this summer's games drought. Again, there are 5 games leaving soon, so watch this video to see if they're worth it or not. First up, we have Dodgeball Academia. The game is set in a fictional world where dodgeball is a valid career choice and revered by all. So basically the premise was written by a first grader. It's a sports RPG where we play as Otto, a fresh transfer student to the most pristine Dodgeball Academy whose goal is to make it to the top through its tournament. What makes the game most memorable for me are its visuals. They kinda give me the Amazing World of Gumball vibe. Even like the humor and happenings sorta mirror that. Now some people might be put off by it or find it childish, but I like it. I believe the visuals fit the story and tone nicely. Every character has their distinct quirk and the air in the room is filled with this carefree attitude, all of which is easily conveyed to us through visuals alone. Gameplay sees you being transported into a bubble dodgeball area where you face off against your opponent or a team. Similar to them, you soon command a team of your own whereby only one character on your side is active, meaning you need to take control of your teammates to get them to perform any action. For me, that got a bit annoying. See, I prefer to not have my party members be completely passive, cause what's the end point of having them then? If they at least picked up the ball or something minuscule, I would already be happy, but instead, all they do is follow you in a line, making it so you even have to keep attention on them not getting hit. How a match looks is that we and our opponent are faced on the opposite ends of the courtyard, with the middle containing up to 3 balls. The balls are picked up automatically as soon as our character steps on them. Now if our character and the opponent happen to pick up the same ball at the same time, a button prompt appears whereby we have to keep smashing X or else the ball falls into enemy hands. Other than that, we basically need to throw the ball at our opponents, knocking their HP down to 0 and thus eliminating them from the game. Balls thrown at us can either be evaded or caught, whereby to be honest, I mostly just evaded them cause the catching window is kinda all over the place. Or at least it feels like that and I didn't really want to dedicate my time to become a pro at it, which kinda makes the game harder at later levels where mastery of the catch becomes more and more important. The game is fine, not something I'm gonna finish, but I do think there's a market for it. As I said, the visuals are what did it for me and got me playing for as long as I did. I wasn't stoked on the gameplay, character controls sometimes feel floaty, the side quests didn't seem to add much to the story, and as already mentioned, the team members are kinda useless. But I found the story to be well paced and interesting enough to have kept playing for a few hours. Now keep in mind, the story is not a Pulitzer Prize winner, but if taken as a cartoon, it's easy to get absorbed in. So if you like cartoons like Gumball and want to feel more actively involved in such a world, try this game out. Next up we have Lumines Remastered. Do you like Tetris? Cause that's what this game is. There's no story to it, it's purely a gameplay experience. The main difference here to Tetris is that instead of having to create rows, we need to get blocks of 4 of the same color stacked together in a square. And when the reader makes its round to our square, it is deleted, racking up our points and freeing up space. The game is on screen and I think the visuals explain the differences pretty accurately even if I had just been silent this whole time. The end state is the same as with Tetris and I hope I'm done saying Tetris at this point. Once you build a high enough tower that an incoming block falls on it and is thus outside the border, it's game over. Same old. Pure gameplay experiences like this one can be quite addicting, especially when the mechanics are good. And Lumines is good because Tetris is good. Oh, I said it again. And combined with the pretty neat music in the background and stylish block changes with each level, we're in for a good little time waster. It's easy to keep playing over and over and over again, but I can't imagine getting all the way to 100 level in one sitting. Being based around only one gameplay loop makes the game become repetitive quickly, after which it's just a matter of persistence. So, should you play this game? Well, to go back to the start of this segment, do you like Tetris? And in case you have no idea what Tetris even is, give it a go. It's a spruced up version of that game your mommy and daddy used to play, so why not check it out? Katamary Damacy Reroll is a 2018 remake of the original Katamari released in 2004. The game is jam-packed with Japanese quirk, which I'm sure the visuals on screen and the premise greatly attest to. After the king of all cosmos destroys all the stars in the sky and everyone gets real cross at him for doing so, he orders his tiny little son, the prince, to clean up his drunken mess. We take control of the prince and are given a Katamari, which is a ball to which anything smaller than it sticks to. As we roll around the level, more and more stuff gets stuck to it, making the ball grow bigger and bigger in size. We start off picking up pins and dice, but later get to more absurd stuff like mice, cats, and later on even islands. Living creatures especially add to the fun of the situation, as you see them being stuck to the ball, helplessly flailing around in protest. Each level introduces a target size we need to achieve, with some including time limits as well. To roll the ball, we need to uniformly push both thumbsticks on the controller, which is something that took a while to get used to. I had to rewire my brain to both not control the camera as well as not really use the face buttons, which took a few levels. But once I did that, I was ready to fully take on the game and the stream crashed. And again. And again. Now, this wasn't the game's fault, most likely. It's my fault for insisting on playing via cloud, but it was just so convenient to not have to wait for the download. So Katamary Damacy is a great chill out game. Its mechanics are fairly basic and barely challenging, its quirky characters and story are a blast, and when you couple that with your favorite podcast, well, you got yourself a winner. Before I continue with this video, I wanna thank you all for watching. Playing video games and discovering new ones is my favorite pastime, and I want to share some of that enjoyment with you all. So thank you again. Our fourth Leaving Soon game is Omno. We take control of a human-like wanderer waking up in an unknown swamp. The game is a puzzle platformer which takes you through various beautiful locations filled with adorable and mystical creatures. There's this sort of mystery surrounding the whole game, as its narrative is not conveyed through dialogue or cutscenes, but instead through environmental storytelling. And some audio logs scattered around the maps. Playing the game is reminiscent to Journey. There's no obvious goal set ahead of you, no boss to defeat, and no world to save. It's just you and your interaction with the world you are in. Each level presents you with a puzzle of how to unlock its exit. And the puzzles are not the most difficult brain teasers on the planet, with many repeating quite often. But they do not have to be, for the game's focal point is its immersive experience with the world. In order to progress, you need to interact with the world and its creatures, which further strengthens your immersion, amplifying the experience. And that is what I mean when I say it reminds me of Journey. It's not about your end destination, but about the experiences you make and obstacles you overcome along the way. I don't want to go into too much detail regarding the game, for it's best experienced knowing as little as possible. You really owe it to yourself to play the game and invoke the serene feeling the game gives. And besides, it's a short game. I clocked in at around 4 hours, so it's not like you lose much even if you end up not liking it. The last game I want to talk about is Raji, an ancient epic. In this top-down hack-and-slash platformer, we are Raji, a young performer who found herself in between the world between gods and demons. Amidst the chaos, her younger brother had been captured by demons and is up to her to rescue him. She receives the aid from the gods in the form of a powerful trident and lightning-based skills. As we progress through the game, additional weapons and skills become available to us. Understanding and mastering the game's mechanics is key to doing well in combat. We're able to use our surroundings to our advantage to perform unique attacks as well as avoid damage. And avoiding damage may not be as easy as it seems on first glance. The enemies can be quite aggressive and dynamic, often combining a few different movesets ranging from long to short range. It is this dynamic combat that keeps us on our toes, constantly having to weigh our options in order to win. As gamers, we're drenched in Norse mythology, elves and dwarves fantasy, shiny sparkly sci-fi, but not often do we get to experience stories with roots from other mythologies, in this case Hindu. To be able to play in such a setting is refreshing. With its setting and the gorgeous visuals, which are a 3D render of hand-drawn textures, the game pulls you into this world and doesn't let go until you finish it. What really made the game pull at my heartstrings was the sense of nostalgia I had while playing it. At first I couldn't quite figure it out, but then it hit me. It reminded me so much of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. The traversal mechanics heavily feature parkour movement with wall running, pole hugging, and even the sliding down tapestry. Even the character movements were somewhat reminiscent of the princess. Had they added some sort of quick restart mechanic, it would basically be a reskin. If you said to yourself you're gonna play only one game from those leaving Xbox Game Pass this time, then what is wrong with you? You need to do at least like 2, even 3 maybe. But if you're adamant on it just being one, then Raji is my most suggested game. Plus it's like only 7 or so hours long, so then you can go play Omno, or maybe some Katamari. Anyways, those were the 5 games leaving Game Pass soon. It seems like the games leaving this time are all relatively short in length, making it easy to finish all your favorites in time. I hope you enjoyed this video and are now able to easily decide whether any of the games are worth your time. If you like this video, clicking the like button and subscribing would be greatly appreciated. See you next time!